Storefront is damaged following a police chase here in the city's Wissinoming section. Authorities say it all started with a carjacking and ended with a crash. Tonight, 2 teenagers are in custody. Tuesday night, and the big story on Action News is the police pursuit in the city of Philadelphia that only ended when the stolen car lost control and slammed into a business. Action News reporter Bob Brooks is live at police headquarters with the full story. And Bob, police are still searching for one teenage suspect tonight.
Yeah, Rick, that's right. Philadelphia teenagers at it again this evening, but tonight they just didn't steal a car. In the process, they might have destroyed someone's business and an entire building. It was 3 teens in a stolen Hyundai. They crashed it right into a store and then ran, but you can see Philadelphia police weren't far behind. The good news is 2 of the teens, ages 15 and 17 years old, were caught by officers near the scene in the city's Wissinoming section.
I just saw them as they were handcuffed, bringing them back into the cars.
Plus, 2 guns were recovered. Police say one was dumped by a suspect in the street. The other was found in the back seat of the stolen car. But there's plenty of bad news. The building they smashed into has been deemed unsafe by L&I inspectors. It's possible it'll have to be torn down. And obviously, the store will have to close and people will be out of a job, and someone's car was stolen and crashed. What happened isn't sitting well with the neighbors.
Something's got to be done. I think it's the parents, really. I think the parents ain't paying attention to the kids.
When we grew up young, we knew what we needed to do. You came home from school, you did your thing, you did your chores, you got to go out and play.
Those we spoke with say they've become used to hearing incidents like these caused by teenagers in Philadelphia.
My daughter stays in, she don't come out. My daughter's 15, so no. I don't let my kid come out and talk to nobody or hang out with people, no.
They say it's time for the city to take further action, whatever that might be, to get things under control.
Talk to them, have conversations, something. Because if not, this is what's happening.
They're grabbing a video game, watching what they need to watch, and going out and playing it in real life. And it's hurtful.
Now, Rick, it wasn't just this one incident. Philadelphia police say 2 incidents earlier this evening happened in the same police district. They believe these teens are likely responsible for those as well. Tonight, reporting live outside Philadelphia Police Headquarters, Bob Brooks, Channel 6. Action.
Senior High School is holding a moment of silence for a 16-year-old boy who was killed in North Philadelphia. Kevon Abraham was fatally shot just after midnight on Monday on North Clarion Street near North Broad Street. Right now, police are searching for the gunman. Detectives say they only have a vague description of that shooter.
Robbing multiple victims that he met on Facebook Marketplace. His case prompting an urgent warning now from law enforcement for everyone who buys and sells online. Here's Nydia Hahn now with the details.
According to Meta, more than 1 billion people visit Facebook Marketplace around the world every month. We've warned you about scammers trying to steal your money on the platform, but now we have an urgent warning about your safety and security. The Philadelphia District Attorney's Office telling us about a recent case which highlights the potential dangers. Whether you're buying or selling online, law enforcement wants you to beware. Using the case against Montez Moore, now charged with 11 counts of robbery and theft, as an example.
He was posing as somebody who worked for a bank.
And allegedly in the market for luxury goods on Facebook Marketplace. Investigators say he offered to buy a Louis Vuitton bag as well as Rolex and Cartier watches for tens of thousands of dollars. And after setting up a meeting point for the transactions,
he would instead rob them at gunpoint.
Assistant District Attorney Liam Riley says officials have charged Moore in 11 cases involving this kind of scenario. Police say this photo was taken outside the PNC Bank on Rising Sun Avenue in the Feltonville neighborhood of Philadelphia. Moore is accused of putting a gun against the seller's back and demanding his backpack that held 4 Rolex watches that he had expressed interest in buying.
He would set up these exchanges outside or inside of banks where he pretended to work at.
Buyers assumed since it was a public place, it would be safe. But Riley encourages buyers and sellers to meet at police stations instead.
Where any police district in the city at any time of day will offer to let the inside of the police district be an exchange point for these types of transactions.
In 2021, 53% of U.S. secondhand luxury shoppers used Facebook Marketplace. People ages 25 to 35 are the largest demographic group of Facebook Marketplace users. 61.8% of users who visit Facebook Marketplace are female. Riley also says no matter where you meet, use good common sense.
Go there with somebody you know, or make sure someone knows where you are. Don't go to a location that you're not familiar with. Don't go at night.
We've put more tips on 6abc.com/consumer. Meantime, Moore is currently being held on $10.9 million bail. There is also a stay-away order for each alleged victim. Authorities say he was seen on multiple occasions leaving the scene in a black Dodge Charger or black Mercedes SUV. I'm Nydia Hahn, Channel
10 carjackings in just over 24 hours across the city. Most of them were at gunpoint. Right now, detectives are trying to track down the suspects behind these crimes. Monday night, and the big story on Action News is the growing concern after a series of weekend carjackings in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we know several neighborhoods were targeted between Saturday night and last night. Action News reporter Walter Perez covering the story for us. He's live in Feltonville with the details this evening. Walter.
That's right, Shari and Rick. It was quite a weekend for criminal behavior involving vehicles in the city, and you can add 10 carjackings between 10 p.m. on Saturday and midnight on Sunday.
This is doorbell video of a gunpoint carjacking that occurred this past weekend on the 6200 block of Hasbrook Avenue. We spoke with a member of the victim's family who asked we not reveal her identity. She says it happened as her family returned from a night out.
Then he got up, got in front of the door to put the keys in the door, and that's when the second guy pulled out a gun and said, "Give me your keys."
That ended up being merely one of 10 carjackings this past weekend alone in Philadelphia. Most of them took place at gunpoint. Many of them occurred in the Northeast Division. Captain Jason Smith, commanding officer of the Philadelphia Police Major Crimes Unit, says that while they do not see any direct connection between the weekend carjackings and the chaos that erupted on the city streets this past Saturday night, they are not mutually exclusive.
We believe that certain vehicles are being targeted. For example, the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, and they're using those vehicles to replace tires, fenders, other car parts that are damaged during these car meets.
Captain Smith says other motives include using the stolen vehicles in the commission of other shootings and robberies before ditching the vehicle, making it that much more difficult for police to catch the people responsible. Smith adds that for as bad as things got this past weekend, the numbers are still better than they were last year at this time.
It was actually worse last year. This time last year, we were up approximately 30% in the number of carjackings. However, we have to remain vigilant, or this problem is going to continue.
Now, so far, no arrests in any of these carjackings. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Reporting live from the Major Crimes Unit, Walter Perez, Channel 6.
The brazen shooting just outside of Temple University Hospital's emergency room. It happened overnight, leaving 3 people hurt and bullet holes in the hospital. Action News reporter Maggie Kent is live now outside of police headquarters with the full details on this story. Maggie.
Sarah, there's surveillance video of this drive-by shooting, and in it you can see the driver remains in the vehicle, but all the other doors open up as 3 gunmen open fire on 3 men standing outside the hospital. This video shows the drive-by shooting, which injured 3 young men right outside of Temple Hospital's emergency room just before 12:30 this morning. 3 gunmen hop out of the car and open fire.
We found over 40 spent shell casings.
The bullets hit 3 men. An 18-year-old was shot in the hand. A bullet pierced the knee of a 22-year-old, and a 25-year-old was shot in the arm and shoulder.
All 3 were able to walk just a few feet into Temple's emergency room.
In the daylight, you can see what's left behind of the shooting. Crews replacing the glass in the front entranceway, shattered by bullets. Chalk markers circle where casings fell to the ground.
But this is getting out of control, honestly.
Safia Hernandez was startled awake to the sound of the shots, too many to count.
It's a shame that we gotta live in something like this. Like, nobody expects to be waking up by gunshots in the middle of the night after midnight. It's absolutely terrifying.
Temple is a level 1 trauma center with staff that's well versed in caring for gunshot victims. But last night, those shots rang out right outside the door.
Drive-by shooting at a hospital, guys, come on. Like, where's the control? Where's the help?
Police say they're looking for the men that were inside of that blue or black Dodge Charger. that drove by and opened fire last night. We're live at police headquarters. Maggie Kent, Channel 6, Action News. Brian.
Okay, Maggie, thank you.
Overnight, a 15-year-old girl who was just an innocent bystander is fighting to stay alive. She's the latest victim of gun violence. Police tell Action News this was one of two shootings that happened just feet apart last night in the city's Kensington section. Action News reporter Corey Davis has been gathering new details overnight, and he joins us live from police headquarters with the latest on what he knows. Good morning.
Tam, good morning. So police are telling us that while they were investigating that shooting that involved the 15-year-old girl, they say they heard gunshots of the second shooting and even saw one of the suspects firing those shots. We're being told that both of these shootings are believed to be unrelated but happened 15 minutes apart. Investigators say the first one took place just before 10:30 last night on G Street near East Allegheny Avenue in the city's Kensington section. That's where police are telling us they found the 15-year-old girl, who they tell us was shot in both of her thighs. Officers rushed her to the hospital where they say she's in critical condition but expected to survive. Police believe the girl may have been an innocent bystander in all of this, struck by stray bullets. About 15 minutes later, while police say they were investigating that shooting, they heard gunshots about a half a block away on the 800 block of East Allegheny. That's where they say they saw a 29-year-old man firing shots and ordered him to get on the ground. Here's what investigators say happened after they took his gun and arrested him.
And they realized that 29-year-old who was firing shots was also shot in both of his legs. And that 29-year-old claims he was shot by a vehicle during a drive-by and he was returning fire. So right now he is a victim, but he's also in custody for having a gun and firing a gun. Preliminary information, he does not have a valid permit to carry.
So taking a look at this, when it comes to the girl who was shot, that 15-year-old, there are dozens of other young victims across the city. We looked up that information, the latest data for you. So as of Wednesday, 80 children under 18 have been shot in the city. 72 of them are boys, 8 are girls, with this latest victim becoming the 9th. 11 juvenile shooting victims have died so far this year, all of them boys. So there's a curfew for minors in place that goes from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. And we've discovered that the vast majority of these juvenile shooting victims have been shot during the time frame they are allowed to be outside. Reporting live here at police headquarters, Corey Davis, Channel 6 Action News.
It's shaken a Philadelphia family to its core.
Last weekend, a mother of 3 was shot and killed while doing something her loved ones said she did all the time: helping someone else.
And for more on the search for those responsible and what happened, we turn to Action News reporter Sharifa Jackson live today at police headquarters. Sharifa.
Yeah, Brian Sayer, the victim identified as 44-year-old Clea Robinson, a single mother who leaves behind 3 children. Her family says that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and so many people heartbroken tonight because they say this woman gave so much to the community and the entire city of Philadelphia.
My sister wasn't old. She's 44 years old. Like, this should not have happened.
Dwayne Kroom says 44-year-old Clea Robinson was his only sister and a great mother to her 3 children, ages 12, 16, and 22.
It's such a sad and hurtful situation that she was caught up in something so crazy when she had nothing to do with it.
Action News was there early Saturday morning and showed you the aftermath of the double shooting on East Allegheny Avenue, where nearly 50 shots were fired. Police say Robinson and a 21-year-old woman were both shot. Robinson died from her injuries. Family members say they don't know why she was at that location, but investigators do not believe she was the intended target.
Everybody loved her, and she helped. That's what she did. She helped everybody.
Family believes she was helping someone at the time she was killed. Today, Robinson's being remembered for her selflessness and giving back.
I'm still bursting with pride every time we talk about it around
Her good deeds even made local and national news. In 2018, she was featured on ABC News for her role in helping a homeless student in Philadelphia get a full-ride scholarship to Harvard University. At the time, she was a teacher at Mighty Writers.
I'm receiving phone calls and text messages from people I haven't heard from or talked to in years just because of how much of an impact she had on their lives.
Her family devastated, especially for her children, left without a mother, also homeschooled, and left without a teacher.
They're lost right now. They don't really know what to do because, like I said, they're loved, but she was like their everything.
Yeah, family, they say they are praying for justice and they hope that a suspect or suspects are caught soon. So far, there have been no arrests. As far as the other woman injured in this shooting, the 21-year-old, she is listed in a critical but stable condition. We're live outside Philadelphia Police Headquarters. Sharifa Jackson, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah?
Yeah, another story of the deep and lasting impact of the gun violence. Sharifa, thank you.